Yeah. What's up, Dallas Cowboy Nation? It's your boy G from Jersey here, man, with the Quest for Six podcast, man. Listen, what a week it has been. You figured that after the Super Bowl last Sunday, the topic of conversation would be the Seattle Seahawks, all right, and them beating the New England Patriots, but nope, that hasn't been it, all right. The topic of conversation this week has been George Pickens being traded or the possibility of. All right. We saw one of the McCourty brothers go on a television show and propose a George Pickens for Max Crosby deal. And Twitter went into a firestorm. Okay. Fans saying that is the dumbest idea. That is the craziest idea. Other fans saying, hey, that might be kind of smart. All right. And I'm here today to give you guys my opinion on that. All right. If you guys remember during the season, early in the season as well, after about the fifth or sixth game, I posted a video and I said, George Pickens and the Dallas Cowboys are made for each other. All right. That's the video right there. I sincerely feel that George Pickens and Dallas can be good for each other for the foreseeable future. All right. George Pickens had a career year last year with the Dallas Cowboys. Um, the world got to see George Pickens' true talent on display week in and week out. Okay. Dak Prescott and George Pickens having unbelievable chemistry with each other where Dak knows that he can throw the ball up anywhere in the vicinity, and chances are the GP will come down with the football. All right. And George Pickens thrived. He was well behaved this year. Okay. Um, and he thrived wearing the star on his helmet. I made that video, folks, by week 5, week 6 into the season. All right. But at the time, I'm pretty sure that I said I like Pickens with Dallas under the premise that he was making either about $31 million a year in the future, or if Dallas matched CD Lamb's contract to GP, right? Now, where I draw the line is I can't give George Pickens a 4 or 5 year deal at 37 plus $1 million a year. That's where I start to think, well, now, wait a minute. That is a lot of money to give to another wide receiver when you already have a wide receiver on your football team, when you already have a number one wide receiver on your football team. And that's a lot of money invested in the wide receiver room when your football team has many needs to fill. Okay. Now, I love George Pickens. I mentioned that before. I am a George Pickens fan. Okay. Um, Many of you guys don't know, but I had the opportunity to sit with George Pickens' family when the Cowboys visited the Jets. We had a great conversation. I ended up knowing his uncle personally. All right. I've spoken to his uncle over the last couple of weeks. They're here local in Jersey, and I'm a George Pickens fan. I believe in George Pickens. I think that he can be a superstar for the next 5 to 6 years in the NFL. So this is not that I want George Pickens off of my football team. This is a business decision. Okay. Now, when you look at George Pickens and his impact, okay, on the Dallas Cowboys, you have to ask yourself two things: is can you find the production, or can you find the impact that George Pickens has on your team elsewhere? Okay. Now, there's only one trade that I'm moving George Pickens for, and I'm going to give it to you right now. I am only trading George Pickens right now for Max Crosby. Here's the reason why. The Dallas Cowboys have a desperate need at edge rusher. We don't have an edge defender right now that can go and get the quarterback consistently. What is consistent to me, folks? Consistent to me is Max Crosby. When you're looking at the top 4 or 5 defensive ends, edge rushers in the NFL, Max Crosby is in that list. Yes, I know we had it last year, but we traded that away. I had to come to grips lately and say, we had it. But now, considering that we know that We possibly don't have it on the team, and we want Donovan Ezerako to be a superstar. We want that. But right now, on paper, the Dallas Cowboys don't have a legitimate pressure, every down edge rusher on the football team. Max Crosby offers you that. The other reason I like the George Pickens for Max Crosby trade is because it doesn't hinder you from drafting a wide receiver in the first round. Why do I say the first round? Because you already addressed the defensive side of the football by acquiring Max Crosby via trade. Okay. With the 12th pick, if I'm Dallas, I try to see if Jordan Tyson is still on the board. If Jordan Tyson is on the board, Carnell Tate is on the board, I run that card up fast. Have you guys seen Jordan Tyson, folks? Jordan Tyson is going to be an absolute superstar in the NFL, folks. Look at it. I think that you can get 1,000 yards plus, 6+ touchdowns a year from Jordan Tyson opposite of CD Lamb. So now you address the edge. Now you address the wide receiver room, okay? And you still have room financially to go sign a mid range wide receiver via free agency to help cover the void, okay? Wide receiver that I'm interested in right now, Wandell Robinson. Look at Wandell Robinson, folks. The young man out of Alabama played for the New York Giants over the last couple of years. The man can play in the NFL. Plays in the NFC East, played in the NFC East. He can put up numbers, folks. That is a legitimate receiver, all right? And as it looks right now, he's only going to command between 15 to 20 million dollars a year, manageable contract, all right? Folks, I want to get this out there. All of us fans, we're right. Nobody's wrong. I'm never going to demean anybody, never going to call anybody out their name. But folks, it is all about the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, they're going to make the decision that they want to do anyway. And remember this, if they move Michael Parsons, anybody can be moved, folks. All right? At the end of the day, it's always go Cowboys.